Hello class, my name is Brittany Clough. I'm going to be doing my end of term video cooking assignment with you. Welcome to my kitchen and my home. So, I have my textbook right here. Recipes we're going to be doing this afternoon is the country braised chicken recipe, the rice pilaf, and the glazed pearl onions. So, just to go ahead and start off on the right foot, as for mise en place, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce French that well. It's pretty much making sure everything is in place in the kitchen. It is a French term, meaning pretty much any preparation you're going to do prior to cooking. So this is everything just panned out. I've already washed a lot of my vegetables. I have my knife out, pan I'm planning on using, kind of have this stuff sparingly out. I need to wash my chicken still and go ahead and divide that off, so that's going to be part of the mise en place that I will be doing. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-cut all of my vegetables and ration off my flour just to the recipe so you guys can just watch me add everything in. Okay, so I'm going to begin with the country braised chicken because I believe that'll take the longest, then follow that by the rice and the onions. Hopefully I timed this out well. So I went ahead and I made the flour mixture, kind of the batter almost, that we're going to be dredging the chicken in. And I have my pan with oil heating up. So I have my clean chicken right here. Go ahead and dredge the chicken. Leave it in there until that pan warms up a little more. If I were cooking this chicken for 100 people, I would definitely need a lot of help. Just more of an industrial kitchen, I guess, and more workers possibly. A different method, maybe just frying the chicken instead, but that would definitely change the stovetop kind of health factor of it. But I would definitely need a more industrial style, like a restaurant style stove, and some more hands. Okay, my pan's a little warmed up here, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my chicken just to get it browned on each side. Okay, I cut up all my vegetables and I now have the chicken sitting on the vegetables, and I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on this and cook it at an internal temperature about 165, and for about 25 minutes. My chicken pieces are a little smaller, so I'm definitely just going to keep an eye on it and see where it goes. Okay, I now have my rice working. The fat in there, and I need to stir it so it doesn't brown. And actually, this is pretty hard because I have never really cooked two things at once like this. So I really want to flip that chicken over, but I have to add this hot broth to my rice so that doesn't brown. It's a tad stressful, but that's okay. Okay, I now have my onions cooking, and my rice is still cooking as well. The water did evaporate, or the broth, the stock evaporated a bit, so I had to add more. I think I put too much rice in. And with the onions, I did not think to peel them before, so I was rushing to do that. So I have these two going still. My chicken is done. It looks pretty good. I cut it in half to make sure it was cooked all the way through, just to make sure. So you can see it's steaming really hot. It looks yummy. Now that I'm still waiting on my two sides, I'll go ahead and answer a couple more questions. If I were to make the rice and the onions for 100 people, I believe that would be much easier than I mentioned earlier with the chicken. I would just need a bigger pot and stove. I guess like a propane stove or with a pilot with fire under it would probably be best. I do have this huge pot. I wish I had a couple more like frying pans. That would make everything a lot easier, but I only have the one that the chicken was in, so I'm just kind of managing. So I guess special equipment needed, just enough pans and pots of the correct sizes. It's kind of hard to cook smaller portions in a big pot, I believe. I also only have 2 functioning burners on this stove, so that's another factor that makes cooking a little difficult. I couldn't technically have all 3 things, the chicken, the rice, and the onions going if I wanted to. Some special techniques that I wish I could have worked on. They are cooked down, so it's a little hard to see, but my knife skills are non-existent. I'd love to one day improve those, just for like dicing and slicing. I know I need a little more patience with that. I kind of just always want to blow through the slicing and dicing when I get to that point. But knife skills are a very important factor when it comes to cooking. Okay, finally my rice is nice and soft, not firm anymore. So as you can see, it's kind of like a nice little cloud. A lot of it too. Onion wise, that water is still evaporating, but it looks like probably about 5 more minutes and they should be about there. I'll see if they're nice and firm. One thing I haven't mentioned while I've been waiting for the rice and onions, I've been cleaning. I made a huge mess out of the kitchen. I try my best to clean the kitchen as I go, but I was very distracted by the rice and onion mishap. Alrighty, and here's our end product. I have my onions, my rice, my chicken, and here's me. It was a mess, but I cooked it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste and let you guys know what I would do different next time. Okay, as for the chicken, I wish I used a little more chicken stock, just because it's not as salty as I'd like it. It's very mild. I kind of do like salty food though. The rice turned out great. I used the right amount of chicken stock. Some people might think it's a little over salty, but personally I like it. The onions are actually really tasty. I didn't know how I would feel about those. They actually brought me back to something that my great-grandmother might have made for me when I was younger. It was a very familiar taste that I haven't had and haven't thought about in a long time. But overall, this was a pretty good experience. I really believe the point of this exercise was to cook more than one thing at once, and time management. Another thing I would have done different actually was have the rice start first, which I've heard that rumor that rice takes so long, but looking at the recipes, the chicken saying it took 25 minutes and the rice saying it took 20, I thought it would time out a little closer, but not so much. Rice always takes the longest for me. So it was overall good. Everything tastes pretty good. And thank you for this opportunity. I hope you guys enjoyed my cooking video and you learned a couple things like I did along the way as well.